Oh. Oh. Mat sanstam adigachati. One abides in Ananda. This is what every being, whether they feel they are a seeker or not, wants and needs. There's a saying, there is no rest for the wicked, which is a harsh presentation, factual, yet harsh. This can be made more universal. There is no rest for the sad. There will only be rest when we abide in Ananda. How? This is shared in verse 15. I will review this and then we will continue. Yunjan emam sadatmanam. Atmanam. That which you feel is you, for us, the mind. Sada, in an unconditional way, yunjan, is uniting with the higher self, intellect, spirit. It is only possible, it is only practical for the mind to unite with that which it loves. You do not think about people you do not love. You do not think about food you do not love. We have to love self-development. We have to love the spirit. This is facilitated by making this a priority. In a sacred science, the first step in making self-development, the spirit, a priority, is satsanga, associating with those who are making this a priority. Then, seva, facilitating this priority for oneself and others. Then, sadhana. Sadhana is where you're directly in the means to develop oneself to feel the spirit. When I interact with my relatives, those who are not associated with satsang, their first remark to me is, "You're so busy." And many of them are in business. So I share with them, back in the day when my parents were in retail, the summers in Niagara Falls were intense. Millions would come. They would close their stores at 3 a.m. They would open their stores at 8 a.m. Their stores never closed, essentially. I feel like that's our community now. We have opportunities at 7:15 a.m. We have daytime opportunities. There's emails, there's YouTube videos. The store never closes. The community never closes. This is all to facilitate love for self-development. Yogi niyata manasaha. When one's general lifestyle is one that loves the spirit, then they will evolve to niyata. Niyata here means dhyana. They will be prepared for this specific love. It is almost like a marriage. We were dating, we're engaged. Now we are going to be married. Who? The ego and the spirit. The Sanskrit word for marriage is vivaha, a special upliftment. For the ego to marry the spirit. When one practices contemplation, whoever you feel you are, you will project related emotions. If you feel you are a woman, you will project these emotions. If you feel you're an American, you will project these emotions, which is why when we contemplate, we should practice being a parama hansa sannyasi, one who has no external identification. I am not a woman. I am not an American. To intensify this, I am not the body, breath, mind, intellect. What remains then? Just the ego. Then this ego will have no entity to identify with, so it will have to feel aham brahma asmi. What am I? I am infinite. Shantim nirvana paramam. This marriage, this change in identification. Use this visual. When Sheila and I were married, her identification changed, her last name changed, yes? I used to be Sheila's boyfriend, now she's my wife. What is shared here? Contemplation is becoming. What is the fulfillment of becoming? Being. Contemplation is a verb. Being, though in language is also a verb, but the feeling of being is a noun. And that is the difference between contemplation and meditation. Contemplation is becoming, changing one's identification. It is a verb. Meditation is not a practice, is not a verb, is not changing, is not putting in effort. It is abiding in your nature, being who you are. Have you all caught the difference between contemplation and meditation? Please reflect on that. Mat sanstam adigacchati. One is abiding in who they are, their nature. I've shared with you a few times that the best guide to Bhagavad Gita is Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm going to read to you a line from Srimad Bhagavatam that defines what enlightenment is, what awakening is, what being is. Muktir hitvan yatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Muktihi. Freedom, independence, equals. Equals what? Hitva. Disidentifying from. Anyatha rupam. The false I. Relatedly, vyavastitihi, it is identifying with, it is being swarupa, the right I, the infinite I. That is what liberation is. How beautifully, how clearly our Shastras, our science is able to communicate this to us. These verses 10 through 15 are the direct verses on the process and completion of contemplation. By logic, then, we should all be liberated. Are we liberated now? How come you're smiling and I'm laughing? I was sharing with our Upanishad course students yesterday. I can sense from all of you through Zoom, through the internet, that coming to know how much is involved in dhyana or the Upanishad, we feel overwhelmed. We feel we are not qualified. By show of hands, how many of you are feeling this? Okay. Those whose hands are not up, you didn't hear me clearly. You can listen to the recording and then put your hand up. Please, see my hands are folded. When you come to understand and appreciate how much is involved, convert being overwhelmed to being inspired. Now you know clearly what needs to change. It is an awful experience. Suppose you're in a tough relationship and someone is saying you need to change, but they don't tell you how to change and you don't know how to change. That relationship will continue to be toxic. But now, Shri Krishna's love for us is being specific about how we need to change. For those who are not liberated thus far, Shri Krishna now begins tips on how to be more prepared for contemplation. These verses become marginally lighter. So everyone lighten up. Show me being lightened. Yes, right on. Verse 16. Natyashnatastu yogi yogosti nachaikantamanashnataha nachati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Yoga, self-development. In this chapter, contemplation. Tu, indeed, emphatically, na asti, is not possible. For whom? Ati anashnataha, the one who eats too much. This is tip number one. The one who eats too much cannot evolve, can definitely not contemplate. Do you really need to know this tip? When you eat too much in practice, there's no transition. It's straight to sleep. Yes? In chapter 4, we did explore anna yajna, to be disciplined with eating. I'd shared with all of you many insights during that time. Here is another one. Try not snacking. Take up a challenge that you will only open your mouth to eat 2 or 3 times a day, depending on your body type. No snacking. Relatedly, ekantam anashnataha. Contemplation is not possible for the one who eats too little. If you're hungry right now and we're about to begin contemplation, please tell me, what are you identifying with? The stomach and what you're about to eat, yes? Acharya Shankara describes hunger as a disease. What do you do with the disease? You treat it not with too much medicine, nor too little medicine, but the right amount of medicine. Relatedly, na ati swapna shila. Contemplation is not possible for the one who sleeps too much. None of this applies to you, I know. I'm only talking about others, those who sleep too much. The key to sleep hygiene is regularity. I've shared, if you're going to contemplate at the same time every day, which you must, then relatedly, you have to try to sleep at the same time every day. Wake up at the same time every day. A further practice here, because a lot of us struggle with Zoom fatigue. An hour before you close your eyes, make sure all your screens are closed. Television, computer, tablet, phone. Please do not use your phone as an alarm clock. It is short-term thinking. An hour from the time you wake up, then you look at a screen. Other than those who are in Seattle, Portland, etc., it's already 4:15 for you a.m. So it's harder for you. That will help one to sleep better. And finally, contemplation is not possible for jagrataha, the one who doesn't sleep enough. Eats too much, doesn't eat enough. Sleeps too much, doesn't sleep enough. A strong reason why we don't sleep enough is because we don't work hard or we don't work smart. Work hard so your body wants to sleep. Work smart so your mind wants to sleep. Karma yogis, they sleep well. And one further practice, I'm sharing this based on my own life, is sleep early, wake up very early, and take a nap during the day. Naps are fundamental to have 2 days contained within 1 day. It seems like every culture in the world other than North American culture, not even that, American and Canadian culture, don't take naps. When I was in the Czech Republic, everything was shut down from 1 to 3. Everyone was napping. I was wandering around, what's happening? Because in Canada, we didn't take naps. That's what I learned in university. Take naps. More insights about balance is shared so that we can contemplate. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. 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 Be grateful. Relax the body. Use the thought massage to move from the feet to the head, massaging the body with the thoughts. As you massage a particular body part, disidentify from it. Forget about it. With the body completely calm, disidentify from it. Forget about it. Let it hang on a hanger. Begin to identify with breathing. Enjoy breathing. Feel how the air goes from outside the body to the nostrils, to the throat, to the lungs, and back to the throat, nostrils, and outside the body. Feel this breathing. Slowly change your identification from feeling the breathing to watching the breathing. Watch how breathing is happening. Watch how breathing makes you feel. There is no need to control the breath. Whatever you control, you will stay identified with this. Asana, pranayama keeps us identified with the body and breath. Just watch. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.